from the ground up on Blackout TV. I'm your host, Christina, and today I get to talk to owner and author of The Love Projectt, Chelsea Smith. We talk about how she started writing, how her ex influenced it, and her wildest bartending moments. All right, Chelsea, so walk us through your journey of becoming an author. How did you start writing? We want to know all of that.
My writing first began I was at Audubon Middle School. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that was a really hood school. Audubon Middle School, I went through so much. I got bullied. My sister went there, my cousins went there. It was like a whole thing. And I was 11 years old, and I used to always cry to my mom every time. I didn't realize how bad bullying was until it was happening so often.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even think it was like a thing. It was like, I thought it was normal, unfortunately. So I used to always cry to my mom until one day she was like, girl, stop crying. Stop coming to me with all your, stand up for yourself. And, you gotta stand up for yourself. So I was like, that was one thing she told me. And then another thing she did was she was like, you should write your feelings down. You should express yourself. And as a kid, I was just like, sure. Like, that sounds like homework. So I was like, sure. But my first journal came in on November 24th. I'll never forget it. November 24th, 2004. Wow. 2004. It was signed by my aunt, Gail. She gave me my first journal, and I've been writing ever since. And a lot of my stories, I would say from 6th grade to 7th grade, 8th grade, they were all stories of me being bullied.
Wow.
And that completely changed, when I started to realize, going through the relationships and those bullying relationships and starting, high school and everything, continuing my journey, my friendships changed. And my writing kept going. And then then I started to think about like my sexuality too. Mm-hmm. I was never bullied for my sexuality ever in my life, ever.
So just what, do you know why you were bullied? Or
I was bullied because I was small. I was small, so people would pick on me. And that's why it was so confusing, because I was like, why are you picking on me? It'd just be like little stuff, like taking my notebooks, teasing me for how I ate ice cream, pushing me in the locker room, just picking on me. Mm-hmm. That's why I was just like, I'm not doing anything. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was like, maybe I just need to stay out their way. Mm-hmm. So that's how I became like so attached to my journals, because it really started to help me in that way.
The Love Projectt is so much more than just a collection of books. It's Chelsea's whole life, and her ex influenced it. We talk about what The Love Projectt is and also about her ex.
Fast forwarding to how The Love Projectt began, college. I finally was like, you know what? I'm going to break out of my, that closet and start to explore and do things. And The Love Projectt was from a relationship that I was in. The last name of the girl, her name was Love. And originally, writing has always been my way of expressing myself. This was a heartbreak relationship. We all have those. Mm-hmm. It was a heartbreak relationship, but in the midst of that, I was writing her letters to explain to her like how I felt and the things that I would go through. Because it's like I couldn't keep it to myself. Mm-hmm. That's something I learned about myself. Like when it comes to my feelings, I can't keep it to myself. I have to write it out. So I was like, you know what? And I was studying psychology as well, because since I started college, that was my major. I was like, I want to do an experiment. I want to track my attraction to her. I want to see if it goes up, if it goes down. Am I in love? Is this fake? And so I started exploring all these things about love and attraction and sexuality, all in my journals. Okay. So I'm like, this is like a love project. And her last name is Love. Like everything was just like super connected. So in a nutshell, that's the essence of how the Love Projectt began, and everything from after that relationship has been, trying to love myself and love others. Yeah. And, my knowledge of psychology, just kind of conflict management, a lot of conflict management with the relationships in my life, and trying to stay on that love side, no matter what I go through.
The Love Projectt is also a bartending service. Chelsea talks about her craziest bartending experience.
The wildest bartending story that I have was actually a Halloween party. It was a Halloween party. I did a really big party in Santa Clarita, and I took my brother with me. And we went up there. The costume party was off the wall. Like, it was completely off the wall. People were dressed as, there was one guy who was dressed as a condom. And if you push the button on the top of his head, like, stuff would come out. It was very wild. We had real, not real people, but real things and real people there. They went full out. They were some rich people. And they got so drunk, so careless. They tried to give me fake money at the end of the party, you know, because, you know, like, they had, like, the little fake holiday money. Yeah. I was like, I showed my brother. He's like, you need to take this back. And she's all drunk. She's trying to blame it on the drinks, blame it on the alcohol. I was like, no, you need to pay. It was crazy in that regard, and it was also crazy with the people, crazy with like the rush. You know, everybody want to talk to you, and you're like the life of the party. Right. And I was the biggest life there, so it was just like crazy to me. It was crazy.
What advice would you give? Because you've had a lot of experience now with networking, funding, all of these things. You've been very creative with turning your life into your work. So I'd love for you to give some advice to those people out there that want to start their own business.
Okay. The biggest advice that I would give to any entrepreneur that's starting off is to follow your passion. Your passion is your heart's calling, so you can't avoid it. It never fails you. And if you follow that, it'll take you places you've never been before.
Y'all, I had so much fun talking to Chelsea. As always, I'm your host, Christina. You can check me out at TinaBaby53 on Instagram, or check out my YouTube blog, The Struggling Blacktress. Now stay tuned for Ian, who's talking to Douglas of Douglas Designs Master Jeweler. Ian, take it away.
Thanks, Christina. I really appreciate it. Great interview with Chelsea Smith of the Love Projectt. I am Ian Evans here with Blackout TV to talk to Douglas Designs. You'll check out his wearable art, great jewelry. We'll talk to him about his motivation, his inspiration, and his journey. Enjoy. So what brought you out to LA, my brother?
Well, I was in college and I was the top of my class, and I was trying to get a job, and I was unable to secure a job, and I called my friend who was a large format producer out here in the music industry. He lived in Sacramento, so I actually went to Sacramento. He allowed me to stay with him in Sacramento until I got on my feet, and I had been acting at the time, and I thought that I was going to be a star. So I said, if I'm going to be in California and I'm going to be a star, I might as well move to Los Angeles. So I moved to Los Angeles and been grinding ever since.
And how long ago was that?
That was 2005, March 13th, 2005.
Wow, exact date. And you love it out here, my brother?
I love this about Los Angeles.
Okay, you love it.
You know, it's just like any place else. It has its challenges, but you have to learn. If you can't love the place, you better learn to love the people. And there's some great people here.
Wow. That's something I had to learn when I went to Tuskegee as well. Leaving LA, going down to Tuskegee, you have to love the people.
Yeah.
And you have to make home wherever your heart is and
right.
wherever you are.
Right. So, you know.
Whether you're going to the club, going to the grocery store, hanging out with friends and family, or going to a special red carpet event, Douglas Designs has wonderful wearable art and great jewelry for every occasion. Check it out.
Me, I'm a day-to-day person, so a lot of like what I have on right now, these are pieces that I wear day in, day out, but if I'm going out now, for instance, like if I'm dressing up, if I'm putting on a suit or something like that, I might have, something I call a statement piece. Something that's a little bigger, a little gaudier. These pieces are sterling silver, but I work with copper, silver, gold, platinum, and things like that. So for me personally, because this is my everyday thing, a lot of times what inspires me is just what I want. Like I might go out and be inspired by because I'm also inspired by like different jewelers and different styles of jewelry that I see out. And I might say, hey, I want a piece. I want to get a piece and make it kind of in that style or in that vein. And so I'll take something that I see someone else has done and I kind of bring it into my own sphere. And I might rock that. But a lot of the things I end up selling.
Wow.
Yeah, people come and buy stuff off me all the time. I just had a run this week where several people came and ordered a bunch of stuff. So that's what happens to a lot of the things, even when I make them. And it's funny, it's always the pieces I make for myself. Like I could go out and do a show or something, and I have all these pieces, but the stuff that I made for myself, oh, how do I get that? How much is that?
Right.
So, but yeah, for me, it's just the feeling in the moment, knowing that I'm probably gonna wear it a lot.
That's great. Here's Douglas Designs offering some great advice to all you entrepreneurs out there.
I would say, okay, especially if you live in Los Angeles or California, you can start a business by simply going online and Googling your local Board of Equalization. That's gonna allow you to pick up a seller's permit. That will allow you to then go to the federal system at irs.gov and start an EIN. And once you start your EIN, that allows you to get what's called a DUNS number, which stands for Duns and Bradstreet. If you utilize that listing number, you can go on a place called usajobs.gov, and you can then become a government contractor and take advantage of short-term, medium to large format contracts that have a payout that allow you to fortify your business. That's what I would say.
Now, going forward from there, when you say wearable art and wearable pieces, are there any other ventures of art, you being classically trained and you being motivated from within the art? Is it outside of jewelry? Do we have any other apparel, any other items?
Well, the item that you have on, I made that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's gonna be yours.
Thank you.
Yeah. But clothing, like this is one of my pieces. A little bit of music composition, artistic direction. I've done several albums for other major artists as far as being their creative and artistic director. To be honest, man, I'm really a fan of Paul Robeson.
Oh, wow. We're taking it back.
Paul Robeson, because you're often told that you can't do certain things.
Right.
I was actually told, you need to slow down, you're doing too much. And I remember this was years ago, and I was maybe about 23, 24 years old. You need to slow down, you're doing too much. And I remember having to explain, well, Paul Robeson did all these things. I understand that all these things have to have their time, but all these things can be done. We can achieve any of the goals, we just have to put them in their time. So what I found works for me is, when I'm making jewelry, I'm making jewelry.
Right.
When I'm composing, I'm composing.
Right.
If I'm doing creative direction, I'm doing creative direction. And I learned for me, that's what actually helped me to stay focused with projects. So I recommend to anybody, it's, when you have goals you want to reach, sometimes it's hard to make time within the time span of the day, but it's like, you have to make time. So I say, just take 4 hours a day.
Okay.
Start off with 4 hours a day. And if you can dedicate 4 hours a day to doing what you love, you can turn that into a career where now you're spending, 5 days a week completing those things.
I hope you enjoyed that great interview with Douglas Designs. Be sure to follow him on Instagram at Douglas Designs. You can also follow me on Instagram _Ian_Evans. That's Ian Evans. And be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification for the Blackout TV. That's at the Blackout LA. Check us out.